Hey everybody, how are you? So, I'm sure by now many of you have heard that something happened involving Trump and his campaign team at Arlington National Cemetery. Now, I want to talk about this not just because I think it's a relevant political issue in and of itself, but also because this incident is part of a long pattern of behavior from Trump that goes to show not just what kind of person he really is, but also what his MAGA movement really stands for. Before we get to that, though, I want to give you guys a little background on Arlington. The cemetery is one of the most hallowed sites in America, and its history is deeply tied in with some of our most important people and events. For example, it was George Washington Parke Custis, and judging by the name, you won't be surprised that Custis was actually the adopted son of the original president, George Washington. Now, he was the original owner of this territory. Later on, the cemetery fell into the hands of someone much less fondly remembered in our history. Custis's daughter, who inherited that property, was married to one Robert E. Lee, who you might remember as the guy who put slavery before country when he became the head of the Confederate military. The Union Army seized the property relatively early in the war, and when other cemeteries in Washington began to run out of room for the war dead, Quartermaster General Montgomery Meigs thought Arlington would be the perfect place to bury the fallen. That way, Lee could never live there again and would constantly be reminded of all the loss of life that he and the Confederates had caused. Ever since then, Arlington has been the site where we bury our most honored fallen. This cemetery has, unfortunately, had to expand over time. One section in particular, Section 60, was opened up just a few years ago in order to inter those who died in the modern war on terror, including Iraq and Afghanistan. Now, as would be expected of such an important place, there are some rules. While the public is allowed to visit and take some photos, the rules are very different when it comes to political campaigns. Anything that's supposed to indicate support or approval for any product, cause, service, political campaign, or anything similar is strictly forbidden, and for obvious reasons. These dead soldiers aren't props. They're people who gave the last measure of themselves so that we in this country can live the lives we do. And it's just wrong to use them to support something that they have no say in or choice about. The family of one particular soldier did give Trump permission to visit. However, while their sacrifice deserves the utmost respect, so does that of everyone else buried there. None of them gave their permission, and the overall rules of the cemetery are incredibly clear. They're even listed on handouts that are given to all the visitors. Moreover, cemetery staff made it clear to Trump's team, again and again and again, that what they were doing wasn't just impolite or against the rules, but actually illegal. When one of the cemetery's female employees tried to physically block the path, one of the men on Trump's campaign staff physically shoved her out of the way and proceeded with the campaign chute. To add insult to literal injury, Trump campaign spokesman Stephen Chung not only denied the incident, he accused the woman involved of being mentally ill. Quick side note, technically, the man who pushed the cemetery employee committed assault. However, representatives from the military speaking on behalf of the Arlington staff have said that they won't be pressing charges because the woman involved is afraid of being attacked by Trump supporters. This isn't the video where I'm going to talk about the insane climate of violence that Trump has created, where literally anyone who opposes him is bombarded with death threats and physical attacks, but I just want you all to know how pervasive it is. People aren't afraid to speak out against Joe Biden or Kamala Harris this way, or literally any other politician except Trump and his MAGA loyalists. It's insane. Returning now to the main point, despite the explicit ban on using images from the cemetery to support a political cause, the Trump campaign immediately began posting on social media and using the footage in official campaign advertisements. Now I'm going to show you what that looked like. I want you guys to pay attention to this image. It's important. You all saw that, right? The big thumbs up? Just in case, I'll show you again. There is something deeply wrong with this man. I mean, who does that? What kind of person gives a thumbs up at a funeral? This is the behavior of a sociopath. And I say that because I've seen Trump do this pose before with the thumbs up. Usually he's doing it while next to a table loaded up with hats or sneakers or hamburgers or whatever scam he's selling that day. To Trump, there's really no difference between a dead soldier and a shoe or a trading card or a Bible. It's just another product to raise his brand. Trump, as a person, is completely incapable of understanding the value of those soldiers' sacrifice. He has no idea whatsoever why our society venerates these people. He just doesn't get it. We call people in the military service members because what they're doing is a service to all of us. Every single one of those people, including the ones who do come home, made a choice to sacrifice something of themselves. Their time, their effort, their limbs, their lives. They sacrifice these things for something bigger than themselves. Trump and the people who surround him, they can't understand that at all. Really, I mean that he just doesn't understand it. In Trump's mind, he isn't just the most important thing, he's the only thing. Nothing outside of himself matters to him or ever could. Moreover, because he sees himself as the only thing that really exists, he thinks everyone else is just like him. He thinks that everyone on the planet is just as empty, cowardly, greedy, and cruel as he is. That's why he repeatedly calls soldiers suckers and losers. For Trump, it's not possible to imagine a person acting out of selflessness or duty to country, so he assumes the only reason those people chose to serve is because they must be idiots who couldn't find anything more profitable to do. Trump thinks he himself is very smart. That's why he did the smart thing and faked having bone spurs to avoid the draft. He says over and over again that he's the healthiest man ever to lead this country as president, but apparently not healthy enough to serve it as a soldier. And it's also very clear why Trump hated John McCain so much and repeatedly insulted his service. He especially thought McCain was a loser for spending 5.5 years in North Vietnamese captivity, during which he lost the ability to raise his arm over his shoulder. And I have to tell you, this is so crazy to me. I still remember the first time I read about McCain's life story, and my first thought was, damn, this guy's a real hero. Because the thing about McCain was that he could have gotten out a lot earlier than he did. He had relatives in very, very high-level military positions, including flag officers. Instead, McCain chose to stay until every man captured before him was released, as per the standard protocol. 5.5 years of brutal, vicious torture. I look at that and I think it's amazing that a regular human being just like us was able to go through all of that and still hold together. Which I would think is the way any morally sane person would look at it. Trump, however, is not a morally sane person. To Trump, McCain and men like him are just idiots. And it's not something he just lets slip occasionally. Trump doubles and triples down on it again and again. Here's another particularly on-point example. During his time in office, Trump awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest medal awarded to civilians, to Miriam Adelson. Now, the Medal of Freedom is awarded to civilians who do something that contributes to our society. Adelson contributed millions of dollars to Trump's campaign. Again, Trump doesn't care about contributing to society. He cares about contributing to Trump. But to put the cherry on top, Trump just had to add in that the Medal of Freedom Adelson got for giving him money was superior to the Medal of Honor given to service members who perform feats of the utmost bravery, skill, and daring in service to their country. Trump said the Medal of Honor was worse specifically because the people who got it so often had to sacrifice life and limb. Again, his moral compass is 180 degrees backwards. He sees benefit to himself, not benefit to society, as the highest goal. This is a person who is pathologically unable to care about other people. On top of that, rather than having empathy for people who suffer, Trump goes out of his way to mock them. Take a look at this.
You know, without John McCain, we would have had it done. But John McCain, for some reason, couldn't get his arm up that day. Remember? He goes that like...
There he is making fun of McCain's injuries from communist torture. Let's also remember that Trump loves making fun of disabled people as well.
A nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said.
Again, Trump fails to understand the most basic aspects of being even a halfway decent human being, and this isn't new. Here's a recording of him talking after 9/11.
What's happened down there?
Well, it was an amazing phone call I made. 40 Wall Street actually was the second tallest building in downtown Manhattan, and it was actually, before the World Trade Center, was the tallest. And then when they built the World Trade Center, it became known as the second tallest, and now it's the tallest. And I just spoke to my people, and they said it's the most unbelievable sight.
Yeah, 3,000 dead people, that doesn't matter. The fact that Trump now owns the largest phallic symbol in the skyline does matter, because that's just who he is. Trump's contempt for soldiers is just an extension of his contempt for everyone on earth who isn't him. We're nothing to this guy. He wouldn't blink twice if we all died tomorrow. Just like COVID, when he was far, far more concerned with the virus's impact on his re-election than he was with the million dead people. The President of the United States, at the end of the day, is supposed to protect us. That's their main job as Commander-in-Chief. We can't trust someone to protect us if he doesn't care about us. Vote blue, people. Until next time. Thanks for watching that video, everyone. Now, if you liked that video, then please like the video, and of course, share and subscribe. And most importantly, please, if you can, comment. Because it's not only really good for me algorithmically in terms of getting my channel views, but I'm also kind of new at this, and I would love your feedback, your advice, your thoughts, comments, ideas, anything like that. So please leave a message, like, subscribe, and share. Till next time, bye-bye.